Hey guys, Aaron Cybertron Zhang here, and today I'm back with another episode of Road to Ranked where I climb the online Series 7 ladder and provide live commentary as I go. Today we're trying out a team that I played with over the weekend on stream. It was built by one of my Twitch subscribers, and it features some really cool Pokemon like Galarian Articuno, Garchomp, and now Ego. These are Pokemon that you don't see very often in Series 7 right now, and going into the format, Garchomp was not a Pokemon I honestly really had on my radar. It's one of my all-time favorite Pokemon, and it was one of my most used Pokemon in 2012 and 2013, but, I feel like the formats have not been super kind to it, especially with, fairies being introduced, obviously, more recently. So, Garchomp, however, is a really interesting Dynamax threat in this format. It gets access to Max Steel Spike as well as Max Quake, so you can do a lot of damage and increase your defenses through that. And obviously, having the same type attack bonus, Max Wormwood and Max Quake, is a really strong option. This team also has Rotom Wash, obviously one of my all-time favorite Pokemon. It's got Will-O-Wisp as well, so we'll see if Rotom can repeat history in today's episode, or if, we'll be able to put in some work with it. But I actually think the Rotom set here is really interesting because, as you see, it's not just like Will-O-Wisp, Thunderbolt, Hydro Pump, Protect. Instead, it's a nasty plot set. Rotom's really interesting in the format right now because there are a lot of Pokemon that can't do very much damage to it. Pokemon like Incineroar, Landorus, to a lesser extent, Tapu, Fini, although obviously the fairy type attacks can still chunk away at Rotom. But against a lot of these threats, right, you can set up a nasty plot, and then Rotom actually becomes a Dynamax candidate as well. But it also gets access to Electroweb, which is a really nice means of natural speed control. So there's a lot of cool stuff going on with this team. The Galarian Articuno is super awesome as well as a Tailwind user. Very few people often expect the Focus Sash item on it. So with Focus Sash, you can survive an attack, get a Tailwind off, and if your opponent decides to divert their attention to Articuno's partner, often, max moves will end up activating the competitive, and then Articuno could potentially be a Dynamax threat as well. And obviously, by leading Articuno, you deter away, or even having Articuno on the team, it deters away Intimidate users like Landorus and Incineroar, which makes Garchomp's life a little bit easier. So, excited to feature the team. It is a rental code, so feel free to try it out yourselves, and I hope you guys enjoy. As always, if you do, please share support by leaving a like on the video. And question of the day, I want to know what your favorite legendary trio is inspired by us using Galarian Articuno today. And once again, thank you to Darky for the team. Alright, let's get started. I think, having played with this team, Garchomp is just really fun, and I think I didn't expect Rotom to be as really powerful as it was when trying out this team. I think Rotom's ability to just disrupt in the early game is really nice. It's actually a very good lead option because against, if you lead incorrectly into it, Rotom can just set up a nasty plot on you and can really sweep. But even if you lead correctly into it, Rotom has the potential to Dynamax against, Pokemon like Incineroar, Landorus, even Tapu Fini to an extent. I think the only downside is that this Rotom does not have any 100% accurate attacks, so we'll see if we're able to connect with our attacks. And what would you know? We're actually going up against an opposing Articuno. I would have never guessed that in a million years, so that's cool to see. Okay. I wonder if your weakness policy Articuno, then. Can't help but wonder that. It makes a lot of sense, because if you look at my opponent's team, their primary sweepers are Excadrill, Tyranitar, and Glastrier, so just having the Articuno in team preview, like I mentioned earlier, deters me from bringing Intimidate. I still will bring Intimidate, though, I think. I think it's definitely got to be Articuno, Garchomp, Rotom. Rillaboom's damage output is so good into Excadrill T-Tar, but Incineroar might still be a must-bring. I think I'm going to go Articuno, Rotom, Garchomp, Incineroar. The one tough thing about this matchup is, obviously Garchomp is the Pokemon that we want to Dynamax most of the time with this team, but my opponent has Glastrier. That's probably Garchomp's worst matchup, to be honest, because we don't do much damage into it, and it can just one-shot us in return. So, Glastrier is a threat, but if we can burn it with Rotom, that would be very, very good. So let's see. They are going to go with the Articuno and the Excadrill. That's a very cool core. Are you Mold Breaker here? That would be scary. Doesn't look like it. Okay. Well, given that, I think it's just a Tailwind turn one into Will-O-Wisp Excadrill. Yeah, I'm down for that. I really would not have expected our first game with this team to be a Articuno mirror match, though. That's pretty neat. But I think Tailwind's fine. Tailwind into Will-O-Wisp is fine. They probably Tailwind themselves, which is scary, but if I get a burn on Excadrill, that's pretty good, especially if you actually commit Dynamaxing it here. But this is a smart lead on my opponent's end, and this is exactly why I did not want to lead Incineroar. If I lead Incineroar into this, Articuno could just Dynamax and sweep through my entire team. They switch out. Okay. What's coming in there? It's going to be Raichu. Okay. And they're Dynamaxing Articuno. I really wonder if your weakness policy, then. I mean, I get the Tailwind up, which is pretty good. This means, like, Glastrier is not Dynamaxing at least, right? So, Garchomp is looking decent right now for us in the back, but I don't have Rockfall, which is a little unfortunate. Okay. I would say that's a decent turn for us. We get the Tailwind off first, but I know I'm max speed, so the only thing it tells me is maybe that was a speed tie. I have to worry about going for Electroweb as well, because I really don't want to activate competitive. So, us having that actually works against us here. They are going to commit the Airstream into Articuno. Man, I really think they're going to be weakness policy on the Articuno, and they're going to Volt Switch into it. Like, I really think that. We didn't see a Life Orb there either, so I think that makes it more likely as well. Got Incineroar and Garchomp in the back. I mean, I'm down to Freezing Glare and Hydro Pump the Raichu here. The reason being is I really don't want a weakness policy to go off on the Articuno. If you fake out, so be it. You can maybe pick up a knockout onto my not Garchomp, the Articuno, but then, like, you've committed 2 turns of your Dynamax already, and I'm fine with that. Your Articuno shouldn't do that much damage into Rotom, but they just go for fake out. Okay. They target Rotom, though. That's fine. I mean, I could have double protected there, but I really did not want to risk a weakness policy activation, so it's not a... Yeah, not something I wanted to take a risk on. They just go for a second Airstream. Okay, oh, to Rotom, that's interesting. That is interesting. That looks like AV Raichu, which I'm nervous about, though. But at this point, if you activate policy, is it that bad? I think it's fine. I can see why they're aggressively targeting Rotom, though. I think that's a smart play on their end. I am just going to go for Freezing Glare, Hydro Pump here into Raichu again. But the problem now is that if their Articuno is fast, they outspeed Rotom. So they can go for a third Airstream, thus allowing Raichu to also be faster. So let's see. Well, actually, wait. Raichu switch turn 1. Wait, that's a problem, actually, right? Because you outspeed us. I didn't think about that. Because, yeah, now Raichu's at +2 speed. I have Tailwind up, but basically you're matching my Tailwind. So I wonder if it is weakness policy on Articuno. Like, that is my best bet. Yep, there is Brutal Swing. Very interesting. Okay. That's a cool combo. That is very cool. I mean, I should... Actually, I don't know if Freezing Glare itself KOs here. Maybe I should have Electroweb then, but... Okay, that gets the knockout. The thing is, like, Garchomp still looks really good against my opponent's team, and if they max Psychic here... Oh, we still outspeed Articuno. Okay, so they're bulkier, which makes sense, right? Your weakness policy. But they do correctly go for a third Airstream here. That is going to knock out Rotom. Okay. But I have Garchomp, and I have Incineroar in the back. So, like, Garchomp can just one-shot the Articuno most likely. The problem is if I max Wormwind into it and it protects. And I have Incineroar in the back, which isn't great for us, necessarily. Okay, so it looks like Excadrill comes back out. Still have Tailwind up for one more turn. Their Dynamax just ended. Steel Spike is the safest option. They can Freezing Glare here, which obviously is pretty scary. They're at +3 speed. I have one more turn of Tailwind. I've got Incineroar in the back. I don't want to switch in Incineroar here. I mean, the priority should definitely be to KO the Articuno here, right? So I think I'm just going to Air Slash it, Dynamax, and I don't know if Wormwind one-shots it. That's my only fear, and I don't want to activate a competitive either. Steel Spike should definitely be a 2-hit KO, and the defense boost helps against Excadrill as well. I could also see a world in which Articuno protects here to bait out my Wormwind and activate competitive. If they do that, that's pretty good for us. Because then I get a defense boost, and I'll definitely knock out with Wormwind after getting some chip, I think. But this is scary. This is scary. Fun game, though. I mean, it's fun to use Galarian Articuno because it's not exactly the most common Pokemon in the format right now. And, you know, we had pretty different setups in this game. Okay, they protect Excadrill. That's fine. Ah, I'm still faster than Articuno with the Tailwind. I think Wormwind was going to KO there. I think it was. But maybe my Articuno just outspeeds here, too, because Articuno on my opponent's side looks pretty slow. Yeah. Okay, that's huge. Can Air Slash pick up the KO here? Let's go, Articuno. Nice job. Nice. That was a perfect turn for us there then. So I'm guessing my opponent's Articuno just basically has no speed investment. Like, they're probably max HP, max special attack, if I had to guess. Which makes sense for a weakness policy set. Looks like Tyranitar is the last one. So that's pretty good news for us because we have that defense boost. Like, I mean, Dynamax Garchomp is probably one of the best Pokemon to have out against what my opponent has out right now, right? So that's good. 5 turns of Sand. I have +1 defense. I could switch into Incineroar, but I actually think it's better to just click Tailwind here. I don't want to switch in Incineroar and take any damage, basically. And I'm down to just go for a Max Quake onto the Excadrill. Actually, Max Quake probably one-shots Garchomp, right? Or Tyranitar. Like, the only thing I'm worried about is Excadrill is Sash. No, I don't think there's much to worry about here. I think Garchomp should 2v1. Okay, they just go for Rock Slide. That's fine. Yeah. Like, you don't, like, through this now, if you're Sash Excadrill, I just bring an Incin, I could just click Fake Out, and Quake into that slot. But they're Life Orb, so yeah, that should be GG. What I was worried about was, like, my opponent having Sash Earthquaking themselves to activate Policy on Tyranitar, but I think it's very Oh, actually, yeah. The one way you could, like, maybe it'd be scary is if you have Weakness Policy and you have Assurance, and your Sash on the Excadrill. Like, that combination of that was something I was kind of nervous about. And they go for Lash Out. Okay, nice. Alright, this was a great game to feature Garchomp and Articuno. Like, they put in so much work for us here, so I'm very happy about that. The Articuno mirror match was interesting. The big thing in this match was just us being faster than the Articuno, even at it being at +3. Because like I said, I was thinking about going for an Electroweb just to, even though I know I'd activate competitive, just to ensure that we outspeed the opposing Articuno. But yeah, interesting to see like a super slow variant here. So I can just Fake Out. I think Steel Spike would one-shot. Might as well go for a defense boost. Tyranitar is always going to protect here, I think, if it can. But yeah, you're not going to win in a 2v1 scenario like this. So, nice. Perfect debut game for Garchomp and the Articuno here. And this is what I mean, right? Articuno, like, on this team is not exactly the biggest Dynamax threat, but it doesn't need to be, right? Having a fast, like, flying or psychic type attack is pretty nice, and to be able to Tailwind, get an attack off, and then get a free switch into Garchomp is really, really valuable. So, I mean, that last game highlights the strength of Garchomp, right? Like, it, in terms of type matchups, did really, really well into my opponent's entire team. And the main thing, as always, with, you know, VGC this year is stalling out your opponent's Dynamax if you can. Wow, this is a cool team. There's a Sceptile, which I believe has Unburden now, so you can... But is there a way to proc Policy? I don't see one. Huh. Okay. Feels like Rotom, Garchomp, Rillaboom. Actually, I don't know. Well, hold on. We want Tailwind up with Articuno. That's for sure. I think it actually might be Incin Articuno, because with Incin, I can Fake Out the Tapu Koko, which ensures that Articuno more or less gets Tailwind up. So with... And I think it's going to be Garchomp Rotom in the back. It just stinks because I really would love to bring Ego and Rillaboom here. This is a matchup where, like, I think... I always talk about this when I play in Road-to-Rank, but, like, sometimes there are matchups where you're like, there's only 4 Pokemon that can even come out. And this is one way you approach Team Preview, right? You identify what Pokemon you don't want to bring first. But in this one, it's like all of my Pokemon have some value in this matchup. Like, obviously I can do a lot of damage with Rillaboom, and Ego does very well into Tapu Koko. So, let's see what the lead is here. It's going to be Tapu, Koko, and Sceptile. Okay, well, I think this is just a Fake Out Tailwind turn 1. Gosh, I have to say, you could Dynamax either Pokemon here, and that's the problem, right? Like, if I Fake Out incorrectly, maybe Articuno just faints? Ah, yeah, it's Electric Seed. I really think my opponent would, like... This is tricky, this is tricky. I also don't really know Sceptile's moveset here, to be honest. I want to Fake Out the Koko, but because you would think Sceptile's more likely to Dynamax here, but I honestly think Koko Dynamaxes, so... I mean, I also could just switch Articuno out in a Garchomp turn 1. But if I get Tailwind up, I feel very good about my chances of winning this. I'm going for Tailwind. I'm faking out the Sceptile, predicting Koko to Dynamax, expecting them to expect Fake Out into that slot. That works too. I will take that. That's Urshifu coming in, okay. Does Sceptile max? Okay, that's a really good turn for us then. Nice. I will take that. That is fantastic. Okay, that's huge. That's huge. Man, part of me wants to Dynamax the Articuno. That would be fun. But I think that's kind of a troll play. Garchomp and Rotom in the back. Close combat's gonna hurt right now, but I think you probably want to target the Articuno. Like, I want to just Air Slash into the Urshifu and U-turn it right now. I think that's fine. Garchomp's looking very nice right now. Whoa, Leer. That's a natural wave speed control. But you just activated competitive. Okay. Maybe the play was the Dynamax there. Okay, Leer Protect. If we flinch here, honestly, I think we just win because Articuno can just Dynamax. I don't think we outspeed the Urshifu even with Tailwind because it's Incineroar. Oh, we do. Oh, hold up. Wait, that's huge. That's really, really huge because I think we Dynamax Articuno. Yeah, I think I just bring in Garchomp because I can EQ into the Tapu Koko and I can just Dynamax Articuno. That's a cool Sceptile set though, so it supports Sceptile with Electric Seed. I mean, this is so good for us, right? Because it's like, I can Dynamax either of these right now, and both are really, really good as Dynamax Pokemon. And it's like, if you want to stop the Garchomp, you have to Intimidate it, which means that you bring out the Landorus, but then you just activate Competitive again, you get me to +4. That is going to be Milotic. Okay, that works for me. So you don't have any ground resists in the back. That -1 defense, but I don't really care about the defense drops. Let's not get ahead of ourselves on who to Dynamax. I do think it's actually Articuno. I think that's the play. I'm down to Dynamax Articuno. I get to max Airstream here. And go out into Rotom, maybe. I mean, what's the alternative? Dynamax Garchomp, max Quake into the Milotic. I really like maxing Articuno here, though, because like the defense drop does not matter at all right now. Yeah, I'm going to Airstream and switch out into the Rotom here. The reason I'm switching out is because Garchomp is my win condition against the Tapu Koko, right? And a single Airstream will ensure like Garchomp outspeeds. Like, I have Tailwind up right now, so that's already good. I don't know. I mean, maybe I could have just maxed the Garchomp, max Quake, Milotic, but then they could Hailstorm us. But I guess that probably does a one-shot after getting the Spadef boost. But I feel like this is like a perfect game to Dynamax Articuno. Like, this is as good as it gets, right? We're not really in immediate danger of taking damage here. And now we can get +2 Airstreams off while also getting speed. Now, I could have targeted Sceptile here, but I was reading into a Protect. Ooh, that might be bad. Actually, I don't really think that's too much of a problem, to be honest. Because, like, unless they go Blind Hypnosis. Oh, I didn't think about Blind Hypnosis here. And even if you Blind Hypnosis, to be honest, you don't do much damage at this point. So, I actually think we're fine anyway, but let's see. They just Ice Beam. Okay, we should be good. Nice. Nice. Now I bring Garchomp back out. That was a hard... I bet they probably doubled up into the Garchomp slot. That would make the most sense. I'm surprised they didn't Dynamax there, to be honest. We have one more turn of Tailwind, but this is where getting another Airstream helps. So I'm down to just go for another Airstream here and Earthquake. Actually, why Earthquake? Dragon Claw should just KO Milotic, right? Yeah. This is what I mean by if your opponent does not target the Articuno, it actually becomes a Dynamax threat if it gets a single competitive boost. And it's hard to not activate competitive in this format with the combination of things like Intimidate, you know. Okay, so Sceptile goes for a Detect, but that's fine. Because, I mean, first of all, this Airstream's going to do like 50% through Protect. Second of all, Dragon Claw, okay. That was more than 50%. That was like 98%. Dragon Claw picks up the KO onto Milotic. Now I'm at +2 speed. I guess Tailwind expires, but like, does it really matter? I don't think so. Plus, we have an AV Incin in the back as well. And I can change the terrain as well with Max Psychic. Okay. I mean, the big thing in this game was us just getting Tailwind up, right? I think a lot of people see Articuno, and Articuno's tough because like it could Trick Room, it could Tailwind. It's a very interesting Pokemon. One more turn of terrain, which is good news for us and bad news for them. Tailwind is over, but we're at +2 speed on this, +1 on Garchomp, so we'll outspeed Tapu Koko. I mean, I think it's just EQ here for sure. And Mindstorm. Yeah. Mindstorm into Koko, EQ. That feels fine to me. I don't think my opponent really has a way around that. I guess, I mean, you Dynamax Koko here. I don't know Sceptile's moves, though. Like, that's the thing. I've only seen Energy Ball, Leer, Detect. So I don't know what the fourth is. So maybe it has something crazy right now. But the thing is, no, you can't knock out both Pokemon this turn, and both of my Pokemon do so much damage into Dynamax, Tapu, Koko. That, like, I think it's fine even if you have some crazy fourth move here on Sceptile that I just don't know about. But they're just going Energy Ball. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I was going to say, unless that KOs, but that does not KO. Nice. We get the Max Mindstorm off, +2 special attack. That is just a one-hit KO. Oh my gosh. I think the biggest thing in this game was I actually didn't expect the Incineroar to outspeed Urshifu. Just because Incineroar is like a slow Pokemon. I don't remember how much speed, like if you actually even need any speed investment to outspeed under Tailwind, but this was just an Articuno difference. Like, it was so good here. And it was basically off that turn 1, right? That's why Tailwind can be really, really valuable. And the thing about Articuno that's different about other Tailwind users like Whimsicott or Tornadus is that it does more damage, right? Like, Whimsicott, Tornadus are not really Dynamax threats. I mean, theoretically you could max them, but Articuno, like, like I said, if your opponent neglects it to target it, or they activate the competitive at any given point, it can just sweep through. So, yeah. Like, are you going to Dynamax Articuno if you play with this team in the majority of the games? Probably not. But can it? Absolutely. So, yeah. Either way, though, you can see how much work Articuno and Garchomp put in for this team. They're both very, very good here. Alright, so I'm glad we got a good Dynamax Articuno game in, though. Happy about that. Nidoking. Wow. First 4 Pokemon is like a Gen 1 team, plus Dusclops and Dragapult. So, Sun, obviously, with the first 3. Trick Room, I actually... This is interesting, because your Pokemon... My opponent's team is actually all really fast. I don't even know if they Trick Room. There's definitely going to be Shadow Sneak and a Dragapult. And given that I think Trick Room is maybe less likely, I think Ally Switch is probably more likely on that Dusclops, which is always scary. Now Ego looks decent. Dusclops is a problem, though. It's definitely a problem. As is Dragapult. I could lead Articuno here. Because, like, if you go with the fast route, you don't bring Dusclops, and I get a Tailwind up, I can just sweep through it, right? But I will say this matchup does not look super favorable for us. I don't think we bring Rillaboom, because there's dual Fire, Dragon, and Grass. So, yeah, that probably stays on the field. Sorry, out of the field. It might be Articuno Incineroar just to guarantee a Tailwind then, with Garchomp in the back, and... How can I not bring Rotom here? I mean, the thing is that now Ego actually does pretty good damage, but I think it's likely for any of the... I mean, there are going to be so many ground-type attacks on the opposing team. And I'm not bringing Rillaboom, so I don't get the Seed, although that actually isn't super relevant here. Alright, I'm going to go with Trusty Rotom. We'll see if it lets us down here. Although, if like, we're losing because of Rotom in this match, it's not because it missed its attacks, most likely. It's more just because it wasn't the right Pokemon to bring. I shouldn't say that, actually. I mean, Hydro Pump is good against Nidoking, Electro-type attack. Like, the scary thing about this Rotom is you can miss Electroweb. So that's a gamble. Charizard. That's not Charizard. Venusaur and Ninetales. Okay. I mean, this is decent, I think, because I can just fake out Tailwind turn 1. My only fear is... I mean, you're never Dynamaxing the Ninetales, right? Tailwind. I'm gonna just fake out Venusaur turn 1. If it maxes, so be it. Like, I don't think that's that much of a problem, but it doesn't max, which is good news for us. Maybe I could have doubled up there onto it for a KO. Oh, gosh. Scarf Hypnosis Ninetales? I think that's what it just looked like, right? Because we're max speed Articuno? Well, we got lucky with the dodge there, obviously. That was a big dodge. I'll take it, but yeah. I could max Articuno now, but I think Garchomp is probably still the right Pokemon to max here in this game. I'm down to just Freezing Glare into the Venusaur and go for a... Or actually, I could protect here, but... Freezing Glare, U-turn. That seems okay. I think that's Scarf Ninetales, right? Pretty sure. I wonder if they just went like Sleep Powder and Hypnosis into the Ninetales, or sorry, into the Articuno. I think that would actually make a lot of sense in this game. They miss again. All right, I will take our good fortune and run away with it, but so I mean, that's like one of the highest risk, highest reward plays you could make. Because if you hit, it's super good, but if you miss, it's a disaster. And at this point, it's pretty much a disaster. Now, that one missing, I didn't really care about, because like Garchomp has a very good matchup now, and getting rid of Venusaur is very good as well. But I think definitely can see why my opponent went for it, because I think this matchup is really bad if they don't go for it, honestly. But now I can just Freezing Glare and EQ. I don't even need a Dynamax here. Actually, it's better to not Dynamax. So, yeah, it looks like Scarf, Hypnosis, Ninetales. Interesting. I didn't think about that. Like, the reason I went Fake Out on a Venusaur was because I was like, that's the thing that's more likely to put us to sleep. But this would have been a completely different game if Hypnosis hits on turn 1. So, obviously, we get very lucky here. But I don't know if I really would have changed how I played that. Yeah, Sash is on the Nidoking. So, it's probably Life Orb on Venusaur. Scarf, obviously, on the Ninetales. I just wasn't expecting Scarf, Hypnosis. And that's not super crazy either. Like, normally on Ninetales, you run Sash or Scarf. And with Scarf, like, you obviously want, like, Heat Wave, Solar Beam, maybe Overheat Flamethrower, but then, like, you have a filler 4th, and Hypnosis can be that move. I just didn't think my opponent needed to gamble one on Hypnosis this early on, but I suppose that if I get Tailwind up, it's actually really hard for them to win. So I can see why they went for it. What do I have in the back? Rotom. Yeah, let's just Dynamax the Garchomp. I mean, I don't have a rock type attack, but obviously this game's over at this point. Yeah. I think, if my opponent indeed was going for dual sleep onto the Articuno, then it was actually correct to just go for the Fake Out onto Venusaur, because Sleep Powder's accuracy is higher than Hypnosis. Let's say that Hypnosis hits turn 1, what do I do turn 2? The thing is that you don't really do very much damage to me, and I have an Assault Vest. But the thing with the blind Hypnosis turn 1 is the fear. Like, if it hits and then I eat like a 2 or 3 turn sleep, it's a disaster for us. So yeah. This is a really cool team. I like the Tornadus Metagross. I mean, obviously that's a really common duo, but there are some Pokemon you don't see very often. Like, actually, I shouldn't say that. Like, and I was like, Mamoswine is a really big pick right now, actually. And, in fact, it's very good against us because it completely demolishes Garchomp. So, that's not good. How do I want to approach this one? Mamoswine is a really big problem. In fact, that's actually probably one of the worst matchups for this team. If you look at it, you have super effective Max Quake, Hailstorm, Hailstorm, Quake, Hailstorm. Like, you hit 5 of the 6 Pokemon for super effective. So, Rotom clearly needs to come out, and I clearly need a Will-O-Wisp the Mamoswine, but will be easy to get off. The thing is that the only thing that really threatens Rotom is going to be the Rillaboom. So I'm down to go Rotom Articuno lead. Instant's pretty useless here. Like, my opponent has physical attackers, but like most of them have abilities that block the Intimidate, which is one of the ways they nerfed Intimidate in this generation, which makes sense. I think Garchomp has to come out here still, and it's probably going to be Rillaboom as the 4th because it gives me Glide into Mamo and the Tapu Fini, but this feels kind of shaky to me. So let's see. We've definitely gotten some good fortune in these battles, though. Yeah, the last one. It's like, that's the thing with playing with low accuracy sleep-inducing moves. It can bait you into just using it on the first turn, and like in the games that it hits, you probably just win or you get such an early lead. But if you miss, like, you also kind of just insta-lose. And it's just such a, like, there's so much high variance involved there, and like, you typically don't want to gamble the game on a 60% chance right on turn 1 if you don't have to, right? But maybe my opponent felt like they needed to in that matchup. Tornadus and Mamoswine. Okay. Not bad. But it's not great either. Worried about Lum here. I could Nasty Plot. But the thing about plotting is that there's probably a Rillaboom in the back, so I'd rather Will-O-Wisp turn 1 in Tailwind. That feels better to me. Especially because I have Max Steel Spike on the Garchomp as well. So actually, maybe Hydro Pumping here is better. Break a potential Sash, bring in Garchomp, Steel Spike into Mamo for a KO, assuming I get Tailwind up. They could taunt. And that's always the tricky thing. Like, a taunt here would be pretty bad, right? Because if you stop my Tailwind, And they might be afraid of a Trick Room as well, which would explain a taunt as well. Okay, they Dynamax, which is fine. I should be Mamoswine maxing, so if you're not Lum and I hit the Will-O-Wisp, I know it's a lot to ask for, but that's huge. This is why... I think this was our only possible lead against this stuff, honestly. Could I have Electroweb, KO, Tornadus, and then I have Rillaboom? Maybe. Maybe Hydro Pumping there would have been better. Okay, they just Tailwind though, so that's good. This is where the Focus Sash is just so good here on the, yeah. The Articuno. I don't, like, people don't expect it, because, like, Articuno, you think, like, oh, it's a pretty bulky support Pokemon, but this one's just like, no, max speed, max special attack, Focus Sash. Good luck. I also have to wonder if the Sash is on Tornadus here, if there's a Sash on Tornadus then. Okay, it's Life Orb Mamoswine. We get the Tailwind up, so that's a good start. I mean, Will-O-Wisp is higher accuracy than Hydro Pump. And Rotom actually hits Will-O-Wisp. It's a Christmas miracle. Okay, that's huge. I have Garchomp now. I think what I want to do is bring out Garchomp, Dynamax Garchomp, Max Guard. Hydro Pump Mamoswine, so let a Steel Spike as a KO onto it the next turn. I don't want to bring out Rillaboom because, like, Tornadus is just going to wreck that. Hydro Pump may have just been better there because, like, you still do a pretty good amount of damage with Life Orb. Yeah, I'm down to Hydro Pump, Dynamax, and Guard here, I think. Which allows me to Steel Spike Mammal for a KO Electroweb the next turn. Now, my opponent could read into that and, like, target the Rotom. But to be honest, I don't think a burnt Mamoswine or a Tornadus can do any damage into a Rotom. At best, you can Rockfall or Knuckle with Mamoswine into Rotom, but... Feels like I'm playing Worlds 2013 right now against Arash Amadi. Rillaboom is in the back. Okay, how much of a problem is that? It's not a problem if I hit the Hydro Pump, but they may have protected Mamoswine here, which would be interesting. But I don't know. I don't think Mamo can one-shot Garchomp after the burn and a defense boost for Max Steel Spike, so let's see. I have to Max Guard here, though, because if you do Hailstorm, that's like... I don't know if Steel Spike picks up the one-hit KO. That's why I'm making this play, right? And now what I can do this next turn, if they don't Max Guard with Mamo, I hit the Hydro, then I can Steel Spike into the Mamoswine, switch out the Rotom into my Rillaboom. And then we're in great, great, great shape. So let's see if they protected Mamoswine. Okay, we Max Guard. They Max Guarded. Wow, okay. That's a really good play on their end. Wow. It's like I could have hard punished that by just Worm Winning into Tornadus. But did not have the guts for that. Really, really good play. That wastes a Max on my end as well, unfortunately. Now I can Worm Wind or Steel Spike here. But I don't know if Steel Spike can one-shot Mamoswine. I don't think it can, but let's find out the calc. Either way, I didn't think my opponent would play that passively, and it ended up being a super good play on their end, so well done. I'm going to Steel Spike Mammal now. I don't think we KO, though, which is the problem. And, like, if I just Worm-Winded a Tornadus slot last turn, for example, it would be game over. But it looks like it can be Fake Out into Rotom. That's fine. That's more than okay with me. I mean, I don't think Mammal one-shots after a defense boost and the burn. Yeah, we needed to hit the Hydro Pump. So I'm glad my assumption was correct, but maybe there was a better play there last turn. I mean, it should be Hailstorm and a Garchomp here. But I think if we don't survive this, I'll be sad. Okay, we're good. Nice. Okay. I don't have Fake Out on Rillaboom, which is the one downside, but I think that's okay. I need to knock out my opponent's Rillaboom here, though, right? I can obviously just Wormwind Rillaboom, glide into the Mamoswine right now. I think that's fine. Feels okay to me. I think a Mamo Max Guard is likely, but doesn't matter. Or not Max Guard, Protect is likely, but doesn't matter. I don't think so. I mean, I could KO through Protect here, but I don't think I need to. I think it's not really doing much for my opponent right now. Problem is that Tornadus actually does pretty good damage against us in this late game. But I think I am just going to glide Wormwind. Man, that was such a good Rillaboom switch into Max Guard. I really didn't expect that. Like, maybe I tunnel vision a little too hard there. Especially, actually, Look, given the fact that we would survive the attack from the Mamoswine, it's always better to just go on the offensive in that turn. I just didn't know the calc there with 100% confidence. They switch out Rillaboom, which is actually kind of surprising to me. Because you just gave up your option to reset Tailwind. Actually, unless it survives a Wormwind, which maybe it does. Yeah, if it does, maybe it's a problem. Let's see. I would think Wormwind one-shots here, but who knows. Like, this is Life Orb Garchomp we're talking about. Good job, Garchomp. That's why we got you on the team here. Okay, nice. Okay, so we get an attack drop onto Mamoswine. It's at -1 attack. I have a defense boost. You're burnt, but my Dynamax ends now. So dealing with the opposing Rillaboom is still kind of a problem here, actually. Which is why that switch was a good switch, actually. I thought they would conserve the... the other question is, do you have Ice Shard on the Mamoswine? Like, I don't know. I think the safest play this next turn is just to protect the Garchomp. But they could read into protect and double up onto my Rillaboom with Fake Out if they bring out the Rillaboom in an Ice type attack. If they don't bring out Rillaboom, though, I can just glide Mamoswine. But, like, this is far from over because I've, like... Oh, man, that max guard play on their end was so good, and I gave too much respect to the Mamoswine. So, that's exactly what I could have done better this game. Just attack when we burnt the Mamoswine and got Garchomp in. I think the best play in that position is to Wormwind into Tornadus and Hydro Pump into Mamoswine. And if we did that, that was a game-winning play right there and then. And that's not even something in... Like, I didn't know the damage calc, but, like, you know, I was assuming that I was going to survive anyway. One turn of Hail. We have +1 defense, which is pretty valuable on this Rillaboom right now. Wait, how many turns of Terrain are up? Because that's actually really important here. It's 2. Okay. The Protect on Garchomp is so dang obvious. But I think I have to go for it, because I don't even have Protect on Rotom. Yeah, I think I have to go for it. As much as it pains me, and I think my opponent can probably make the read and double up into Rillaboom, if they play super aggro, and... you know, I don't protect and they target me down, then Rillaboom can just one-shot Rotom the next turn because I don't have protect on it. So, this is a position where I think my opponent can very much capitalize on doubling up onto Rillaboom. But do I really care? You're intimidated, you're burnt, I have a defense boost. I don't think you do that much to me, even if you fake out Ice Go Crash into that slot. Oh, they went for a double protect. That was not an option I was expecting. That might really hurt us. Okay, we just traded Glides. That indicates to me you don't have Ice Shard. Hail stops. Can I survive a Grassy Glide now on Garchomp with the defense boost? That is the other big question. My Rillaboom will win the 1v1 against my opponent's Rillaboom, though, right? Because I have the boosts. Terrain's gone after this turn. I think it's got to be a Glide into the Mamo and just the Dragon Claw. And if we survive, I think we're in good shape. No, I don't know what my opponent's last one is yet either. I guess that's the problem. Could be Metagross. Shoot, maybe I should have played with Metagross in mind and switched out Garchomp. Yeah, switching out Garchomp was the play here. That was definitely the play. I need Garchomp more in this endgame than I need Rotom Wash. Especially because Terrain's disappearing after this turn. See if we survive with the defense boost. I don't think we do. Oh, Garchomp is so clutch. You're so good. But we faint from Life Orb, right? How much does this do? Good damage. Very good damage. Alright, let's see what the last one is. I think it's still probably better to sack Rotom there to get Garchomp back in, because then Terrain's gone, but I don't know. The double was a big deal, though, because it would have forced their second Pokemon, or their last Pokemon to come in, but if you don't have Ice Shard on Mamoswine, I think it's definitely the correct play to just go for a double and stall out more turns of Terrain on my end. Oh, it's Fini. Okay, we win. We win with this then, I think. Okay, nice. Fini comes out. Change the terrain. Do I care? Not really. I think I just glide and... oh gosh, I don't have Protect on Rotom, nor can I Will-O-Wisp, so it has to be an Electroweb or a Hydro Pump. I want to glide the Rillaboom, because I think Fini could Protect here, and Rillabooms very rarely carry Protect, so like Hydro Pump and glide into Rillaboom. But if we miss Hydro, actually, my opponent could still win this. Yep, Fini protects. Nice. Like, I don't need to target Fini right now, right? That's not really the threat. But I need to hit this Hydro Pump. Oh, Glide actually almost just KOs there. Oh, Rotom, thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Nice. The thing is, like, even if Rillaboom protects there, what do you do in return to me with Fini? A Moonblast at best, or maybe a Muddy Water and hope for an accuracy drop. But now we can just Glide and E-Web. So, actually, if we sacked Garchomp... Sorry, if we sacked Rotom, I would lose this. Actually, no. I mean... Would I lose? I don't think so, because, like, Rillaboom would almost, like, 2v1 in this position anyway. Metagross could have been the last one, but I think it's probably unlikely given the way how my opponent played that. Okay, so we get E-Webs off. I mean, obviously any attack will just finish it off now. And Moonblast comes out. Into Rillaboom, that should do around 50%-ish or so. Slightly less, actually. Nice. I think, you know, our general game plan was really effective today. Like, just set up Tailwind. Once again, like, this is why I love running Will-O-Wisp right now. I feel like so much of just us playing in this format early meta is just shutting down our opponent's physical attackers, which are prone to Dynamax, right? So, like, Will-O-Wisp on Rotom, shut them down immediately. Will-O-Wisp with the Dusclops that I was using previously, shut them down immediately. Right? If you shut down the physical attackers, and Weezing as well, right? If you shut down the physical attackers as they Dynamax, you're in such an advantageous position, typically. So, yeah. Articuno put in a lot of work as a Tailwind user in this game, though, and you can see by having Focus Sash, it's very hard to actually deny the Tailwind. And by having something that puts on pressure next to Articuno, it's able to put in a lot of work. But Garchomp, Articuno were both really good for us here today. So those are the stars of this team, so I'm happy to feature that, but everything else also put in some work. I think Now Ego was kind of the one Pokemon we didn't really get to feature very much, so hopefully in tomorrow's episode. But I hope you guys enjoyed. Shows you that Articuno and Garchomp can be viable in the format, and this team is a lot of fun, so highly encourage you to check it out. Either way, that's going to be it for this episode, so thanks as always for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and I will catch you all next time. Alright, peace.